Hey, what's up, guys? Commander Andrew 2015 here, bringing you another kind of tips and tricks kind of video for Hearts of Iron 4. In today's video, we're going to go over a little bit about plane designs, kind of plane designs you should build, a little bit of limitations of the earlier air design frames, kind of things like that, and just like the tank video, a little bit of caveat. This is caveats. These are just my designs that have worked for me. You don't have to use them. You can build off of them, do whatever. It's just my opinion about what kind of fighters really worked for me and what could potentially work for you. We're going to do things a little bit differently compared to the tank video. We're going to start off with the basic frames and then work our way up to the more improved airframes. Now to start, the basic fighter. This is really basic tech that you can get in 1936-ish, and consists of 8 light machine guns in total, 1 level 2 engine, and some drop tanks. These are all very easy techs to get at the beginning of the game, where this fighter is kind of useful if you're going to war early, or if you don't have the research means or maybe production means to get to the improved fighter. This may be a good option for you. Maybe if you're China and you're looking for some kind of air superiority, this would be a good fighter. Or if you're maybe Italy and your research and industry are already quite limited given your operations, maybe make some of these. Just really basic fighters to get a bit of air superiority, maybe prevent strategic bombing, that kind of stuff. Next up is basic CAS. Can't really recommend this. It's gonna do some damage, trust me, in these battles. It's gonna do 12 ground attack per battle, or per tick, whatever, how per sortie. But its air defense leaves a little bit to be desired. These definitely work, but don't expect them to all be able to survive if the enemy you're fighting has a decent amount of anti-air in the divisions or air superiority. But yeah, if looking for cheap close air support and you don't really want to invest in the improved airframe, this works. It's 2 bomb blocks, level 2 engine, and dive brakes. Now for the basic carrier naval bomber, you can print these out from the start of the game, basically. Use them for alpha strikes on your carrier groups, etc. Really basic. Just light torpedo and engine 2. Just cheap. Just really gets the job done. Just easy to produce, get out into the field, and start damaging enemy ships practically. Alright, tactical bomber. A little bit more of a, what's the word, jack of all trades approach kind of going for you. Pretty basic, just a medium bomb bay and a light torpedo mountain. Now, this tactical bomber can basically do any role, as is. It can attack enemy ships. It can provide some ground attack to your units. It can also provide strategic bombing as well if you really want to. So it can do practically about everything, but I wouldn't necessarily lean towards using them to ground attack or strategic bombing. I would probably use this more to attack enemy shipping, and if you are going to go with that advice, I would definitely recommend putting on the flying boat, which you also get to start with these techs. It's going to give a bit more sub-detection and surface detection, meaning that you're going to be able to attack targets quicker, practically. It's 2 level engine 2s, 2 engines that are level 2, medium bomb bay, and light torpedoes. Yeah, really basic stuff. And that's about it for. Alright, onto the improved airframes. These are the ones I would definitely recommend you produce. You can definitely produce the basic airframes, especially the naval bomber and the tactical bomber. Not so much the close air support fighter. You're not gonna be able to. You're gonna lag behind against your opponents if you produce these up till like 1930, 40. Ideally, producing the improved fighter. It consists of 12 heavy machine guns in these slots, a level 3 engine, just one of them, self-sealing fuel tanks, and some drop tanks. But this fighter can do, it provides decent amount of air defense, quite a lot of air attack, quite a good amount of agility, and its range a little bit limited, but it's not poor. by any means, 812 kilometers, you're going to be able to cover a decent amount of air zones. And of course, you should be building up airports as you are pushing deeper into enemy territory and the like. These get the job done. They're not overly expensive. You can easily get a couple of thousand out if you are producing these in 38, etc. For close air support, improved close air support, just kind of the 38, 39 tech that you might be able to rush. Just the basic bombs, engine 3, dive brakes, self-sealing fuel tanks, and drop tanks. Pretty basic close air support. Got a bit more air defense than the basic close air support. Can allow you to get a little bit more IC worth practically. It's a little bit more expensive, but it does provide a lot more ground attack for that to make up for it. And its range is the same as the fighters. It's decent. It's going to get the job done. It's going to do damage. For the improved naval bomber, if you really want to spice things up for your carriers, you can design this. Medium torpedo mountings, engine 3, self-sealing fuel tanks, and armor plates. For naval battles, the range of your aircraft, it does not matter at all. You could bring this down to like 300 kilometers, 100 kilometers. It doesn't matter as long as it's in the battle. That's all that really matters. For port strikes or attacking enemy ships just from your carriers, not in a battle, it does matter a little bit. But granted, we're using these more so much for that alpha strike in a actual battle, naval battle. A decent amount of naval attack, 18. Decent amount of air defense. It's going to get the job done. Alright, on to carrier fighters. Same as the normal fighter, just 12 machine guns in these 3 slots, engine 3, self-sealing fuel tanks, and drop tanks. We threw the drop tanks on just because we may want a little bit more range to escort or if you are designing English. If you are designing perhaps these improved naval bombers and you want a bit of an escort, you could produce these carrier fighters. They're going to provide some air superiority, and it might allow you to get a port strike off, which is pretty advantageous. So you may be able to produce these, and it's basically just a fighter just in carrier form. All right, so yeah, because of that, our range is a little bit increased because we want a little bit more increased range given the port strikes, etc. But yeah, pretty basic design, just gets the job done. For the improved tactical bomber, just pretty much the same thing. We're just adding a medium torpedo mounting and self-sealing fuel tanks. And if you're going with what I like to do, you'd probably throw on a flying boat. Give that extra naval attack and really do some damage to naval ships. Naval attack of 18, targeting 9. Even works with port strikes, going up to 24 actually. Quite powerful. Finally, for the strategic bomber, I believe it's best to produce them on the improved airframe practically. You can produce them in the basic airframe, but it's a very big IC investment, 118 IC for this strategic bomber right here. And so you might as well go big or go home practically. And we are definitely going big with this aircraft right here. Strategic bombing of 36 may not seem a lot, but we have a lot of air defense. We are getting our money's worth. These things are going to be incredibly hard to shoot down. Its agility, practically none, but that air defense is so incredibly high that it's going to be very hard for enemy fighters or interceptors to shoot this thing down reliably. And the strategic bombing is definitely going to pack a punch. So we have 2 large bomb bays here, and 4 engines at level 3. Radio navigation 2. Alright, for strategic bombers, we got this bad boy right here. 2 large bomb bays, 4 engines at level 3, radio navigation 2, self-sealing fuel tanks, extra fuel tanks, armor plates, and a cannon defense turret. And all in all, it gives us an air defense of 49, which is going to make it quite hard to shoot down, which is what we want because we are investing a lot of production into this, don't get it wrong. But we are getting a substantial strategic bombing stat in there, 36. Decent enough range, 2800. We're going to be able to hit most targets. It is quite expensive though, and there's a reason I'm only doing it on the improved airframe. Strategic bombers, they're expensive, and you don't really want to waste that IC. So I tend to kind of ignore the basic strategic bombers. You definitely can, but we're already going so big, we might as well keep going big. And so I just go for that improved large airframe, really get the IC worth, that kind of thing. It's a reliable strategic bomber. It's just really expensive, but it's gonna get that job done. All right, well, that's about it for this video. It's a lot shorter than than the tank or naval kind of aspect because there's not as many modules to cover. It's pretty basic to follow through. Fighters, heavy machine guns, CAS, many bomb locks you can, tactical bombers, bomb bays, and maybe torpedoes if you want to go that way. Naval bombers, just torpedoes, strat bombers, a little bit of everything, really. But yeah, just follow these general principles, and you should be able to win air combat a lot better. But generally, try to stay away from these basic airframes. They should be more used as a stopgap measure until you can have the production capacity or research capacity to be able to get these improved airframes and then later advanced airframes. Definitely don't produce these in 1940. Basic airframes, they quickly lose their potency. But with that, that's about the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. And Merry Christmas coming up pretty soon. Have a very Merry Christmas.